The Publix Tailgate Show is brought to you by Baptist Health, Farah and Farah, and by TIAA Bank. Let's get the tailgating started. Here are Mike Dempsey and JP Shadrick.
The new era of Jaguars football kicks off this afternoon. The first NFL game for head coach Urban Meyer and quarterback Trevor Lawrence, plus a revamped Jaguars defense. It's a divisional game on the road. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans kick off at NRG Stadium in Houston coming up at 1 o'clock Eastern. And welcome into the Publix Tailgate Show. For the first time in the regular season, JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey. We're inside TIAA Bank Field. There'll be another NFL game here at 4:25 today, the Packers and the Saints, but we're getting you ready for the Jaguars and the Houston Texans down in Houston. And the Jaguars have all of this new around here, and we finally get to see it for real in the regular year.
Yes, good morning, JP. Look, this is, let's be honest, the most excitement around a Jaguar opener, at least in 3 years, since 2018, coming off a trip to the AFC title game. We were always anticipating a new season when it dawns, and last year opened with a victory, but it all went downhill from there. So, look, Trevor Lawrence, the era begins today. Yes, the Urban Meyer era begins. The Trent Baalke era begins. But this is about the quarterback. It's the most important position in professional team sports. And the Jags have what they feel is a generational-type prospect talent. He's shown that throughout the offseason and the preseason. I think he's given you glimpses of what you expected to see out of him, JP. Today, I cannot wait to see Trevor Lawrence unleashed like every other Jaguar fan around Duval, wherever Duval extends to.
Let's hope the Jaguars can change the recent history against the Houston Texans. The Jags have dropped 6 in a row against their division rivals, 12 of the last 14, 17 of the last 21 against Houston.
It's absurd, really. I mean, Houston's been a good team, all right? Deshaun Watson's been a big part of that, but look, Tennessee's been a pretty good team. Indianapolis has been a pretty good team. The Jaguars are near 500 against those teams, but Houston has had their number. As you mentioned, 13 games under 500. You can't make all that up today, but you can start a new era head-to-head in your division as well.
Brick by brick for the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Texans. Game day weather is presented by roofclaim.com. Protection made simple. Here in Jacksonville, currently 82, a high of 86 today. Currently 73% humidity. They're in a retractable roof stadium in Houston as the Jaguars and Texans meet in Week 1. Here are today's top stories, starting with head coach Urban Meyer, ready for his regular season debut. And with the roster trimmed to 53, Meyer met the media back on Monday to look ahead to preparation for Week 1.
It is different. Obviously, you look out there and you see a much smaller roster. We're still deciding who's going to be inactive the day of the game, those type of things. That's the little bit of anxiety that I have. That's all new to me. But as far as game management, I feel very good about it. I feel very good about our coaching staff, and most importantly, I feel good about the locker room, which is maybe the most important thing in any organization.
The flow of a week in the regular season is something new for Urban Meyer as well in the NFL, right? I mean, the Wednesday schedule, Thursday, the short day Friday maybe, and then travel Saturday. Here we go on Sunday. Inactives, all these things around the game that are a little bit different from college.
Oh, no doubt. Look, but it's not anything that every first-time NFL head coach hasn't experienced, but if you read the national media, you would think that Urban Meyer is the first guy to ever take over a team for the first time, you know. And look, has he had a few missteps along the way? Sure. But is this a team in turmoil, as one national headline suggests today? Not from the local perspective. So, you know what? Let the national people say what they're going to say about Urban Meyer. He's going to go out there. He's building this team in the image that he wants to see on the football field and in the locker room. And let's give him an opportunity to see if he can translate what has been one of the most spectacular winning collegiate records that we've ever seen to the National Football League. And I'm encouraged by a lot of the things I've seen. Again, has he made some mistakes? Sure, but what first-time coach doesn't? I think Jaguar fans are going to feel pretty good about Urban Meyer if they come home 1-0 next week.
Speaking of collegiate winning records, Trevor Lawrence has one of those. He's making his NFL regular season debut today, the number 1 overall pick quarterback. He always feels a little something heading into the first game of a season.
Yeah, I'm always a little nervous before almost every game, but especially like the first game. We played some preseason, and I was nervous before those, but first official game, starting division game on the road, all those things. Have a little bit of butterflies, but that's just part of it. But we'll be ready. I'm excited. It's
And
going
they
to be
just
fun.
go away with the first throw, first play? They're gone?
Yeah, first play, get a good first play under your belt, get rolling. Sometimes take a little hit, kind of get you in the game. So, no, I'm excited. It's going to be fun.
Take a little hit. Oh, easy, Trevor. It's the first week. Let's hold off, tap the brakes on that one. But I know we're all excited to see what number 16 has in store today.
Oh, without question, JP. I mean, this is worth the price of admission alone right here. And granted, there are a lot of other new faces, and it takes more than one guy to lead a successful football team. But Trevor Lawrence, maybe get him a layup early on, just a simple completion. It's like, you're a basketball player, you see it go through the net, all of a sudden your range is extended out a little bit farther. You and I have talked about it off the air. Wouldn't we love to see a deep shot in there early? We know he's capable of throwing it downfield with great accuracy. We'll see. I think the Jags are going to want to rely on a lot of play action. That means you got to get the ground game going, but it can work both ways. The threat of Trevor Lawrence can open things up for James Robinson and company as well.
Offensive coordinator Darrell Bevell fired up with Lawrence's work so far, and now time to see it in a game from his quarterback.
Really comfortable. I mean, I'm excited about his progress, and it's been a daily thing, and it still is a daily deal for him. He puts a lot of effort and time into it. He really works his tail off. There's so much that the quarterback has to do, and we take off of him as much as we can. We're very fortunate that we have a veteran center, in Brandon Linder, who can take some of that stuff off of him. But ultimately, it always falls back on the quarterback. So where he's at right now, I'm really excited about.
Yeah, think about all of the returning starters from last year. I mean, this team was 1-15 a year ago. I don't have to remind really anybody of that. But the entire offensive line is back. The starting three receivers are back. The running back is back. I mean, that's a lot of returning from a team, but then you add number 16 to the mix. That changes the whole dynamic of this offense.
Well, sure. I mean, Darrell Bevell brings Marvin Jones with him to kind of ease the transition to a new offense here in Jacksonville, and he has looked really good at the times I've been able to eyeball him this offseason, and had seemed to have a great connection with Trevor Lawrence before missing some time with injury. All these guys are going to be healthy today, so there is some continuity. The question is, how much continuity do you want from a team that lost 15 games in a row, right? They decided to go with the offensive line, JP, because they felt like it could be a pretty good unit if it got the right coaching, and if you put a quarterback back there who can help them out, and that's a big part of it as well. Offensive line's got to protect Trevor Lawrence, but a good quarterback at the NFL level can make your offensive line better with pre-snap recognition, knowing where to go with the football and getting it out quickly.
Yeah, get rid of the ball and don't hold it back
Don't
there.
take that little hit to ease you in. I hope he gets that. I don't know when. Never.
Right. Keep them upright today. That would be nice. Let's go to defense now. Jaguars 6-year linebacker Miles Jack spoke with the media this week. He is a team captain, the leading vote getter in the captain voting this week. And with all the changes combined with some returning talent, Jack says there's something building here, certainly on the defensive side.
In a sense, the best position to be in, you know what I mean? Because nobody's really counting you in. People aren't really looking in your direction. Everybody's looking at, the typical guys, the Chiefs, the Bucks, Pittsburgh, everybody. So as long as we kind of stay in our lane, keep building what we got, we have great talent, we have the pieces. We're getting that gel together so that way everybody trusts everybody knows what each other can do, and then we just kind of go from there. So it's really a great position to be in. When everything's sweet, like 2017, and you got all the media and it's all cool, it kind of relaxes you. When things aren't going as good, it kind of puts that fire underneath you. So, even this offseason, I was even more motivated from last year, just going 1-15. I was like, okay, I'm never experiencing that again. So it's really a great position to be in. You know what I mean? You just have to embrace the challenge because life isn't easy.
Yeah, no doubt about that. We've known that the last couple of years around here. Defensively, we'll hear from Joe Cullen coming up. There are so many changes on this side. He is one of the few mainstays the last few years that's seen a lot of change over those 6 seasons here.
It's no surprise that he was the leading vote getter among the captaincy voting because he was the best player on the Jaguars last year. Played the best and has continued to play well this offseason. They think he'll be a good fit inside in this 3-4 look. He was better suited to run and chase in a 4-3 as an outside linebacker, but when there is kind of that Mike spot and that Will spot among the interior, and he's going to be more the weak side type. He's going to be allowed to float the ball. Hopefully, the guys up front, the big guys that they brought in and a bunch of new faces there, JP, are going to keep those offensive linemen off the linebackers.
Joe Cullen, Jaguars defensive coordinator, his first opportunity to push the buttons of a defense in the NFL. It could look dramatically different from years past around here on defense. Multiple alignments and personnel groupings, and Joe Cullen has plenty of options.
We've used a lot of different packages. Sometimes you just wait for the right opportunity, but we'll have some with 5 down line, we'll have some with 4 down line, some with 3 down line, some with 2 safeties, some with 3 safeties. So really over the years, we've adapted and used that in certain situations. Basically, like sometimes you get tied into certain personnel groupings, but basically you see what players would fit well if you do use that package. You don't want to just have it just to have it, but you use certain packages, and sometimes you have a dime, sometimes you have like a quarter with all DBs, no backers. So it's just all relative to who you're playing.
That's a lot to keep up with on defense. You got to have the right guy with the quarterback, the coach-to-player communication in his helmet. There's a couple different options there, different packages on the field of who would actually call the play in the defensive huddle. There's a lot of moving parts in this defense, at least in theory. We'll see it in practice today.
Right, and aggressiveness is a hallmark of it. Look, I think Jaguar fans got really tired of a 4-man pass rush and say, hey, look, it's great if you can get home with a 4-man rush like they did in 2017. You've got to have the personnel to do that. I think the biggest thing Jaguar fans are excited about defensively here is the feeling that Josh Allen and Caleb Von Chason were maybe better suited to play in a 3-4, and we'll see. They didn't get much of anything out of Chason last year. It was a down year for Allen. Can those guys get unleashed coming off the edge in this scheme from Joe Cullen? We'll find out beginning today.
You mentioned Josh Allen. Let's hear from the third-year outside linebacker and defensive end. Ready to get back to it. He missed 8 games a season ago, and they're ready to go in the front 7.
We've been ready. As a group, we can only take care. First off, if you really look at it, how we have our mindsets on, we can only take care of ourselves. Once we take care of ourselves, then we take care of the unit. And once the unit is good, we think our unit is the best. We think we're going to carry the unit. Carry the team. That's how we roll. And our mindset is to be the best every time, every play. So as long as we have that mindset, I feel like we're going to be a heck of a group, and we're just going to play smart.
Big year for Josh Allen, of course, missed 8 games a year ago. Let's go to a new face on defense now, Mike. Shaq Griffin on the back end of the defense at corner. It's season number 5 for him, and important to start this one with a W.
Oh, man, it's important. You got to get that winning taste. You got to feel that. You want to start fast early, and you kind of build off that momentum instead of trying to pick it up towards the end of the year. So that's something that we're looking forward to, getting this W, taking this season one step at a time. Just can't just stack those bricks, one W at a time. And like I said, we got to have that winning taste. This is something that's going to be, different for Jacksonville to getting on that winning season. So we're not thinking too far ahead. We're only worrying about Texans. We're trying to get this W. Like I said, we're going to stack it one game at a time.
Yeah, get the W, snap the 15-game losing skid. Or, Urban Meyer wants to make a great impression in his first outing with everybody and everything going on in the national media and all that stuff. Go win the game. Trevor Lawrence wants to make that impression as well, the number 1 overall pick. And this defense with prideful players on that side of the ball, they don't want to get pushed around. The guys that were here before, like they did last year, and the new guys coming in, trying to set that tone right away.
Well, there's room for improvement across the board with this football team. Obviously, you lost your last 15 in a row, but Shaq Griffin's not going to be hard to pick out. Number 26, very demonstrative guy. He is a guy that embraces a leadership role, but he's got to play like that, JP. He's got to play like a number 1 corner. That doesn't mean you're going to lock down a guy and he's never going to catch a pass on you, but he's got to play like one of the better cornerbacks in the National Football League, live up to that contract, because especially today, you've got C.J. Henderson, who's been a bit of an up-and-down offseason. He started to rally, I think, throughout training camp in the preseason, so I'm feeling better about him, but Tyson Campbell comes in a little bit banged up. You're not going to have Trey Herndon today, so they're going to be a little bit short-handed in that secondary.
Season tickets, single-game tickets, and group tickets. Be a part of the new era of Jaguars football and own it. Visit jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. Time for our weekly segment from Emmanuel Thallerin, known as E.T. We hear directly from you, the Jaguars fans. This is Come On Somebody, Come On Everybody.
How we gonna rock out this week? Let's see. Let's ride. Good morning, Jacksonville, and welcome to another edition of Come On Somebody, Come On Everybody. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for being here with me, because you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with your boy, and I appreciate that. Each week I go to the phone lines and share with you what the people are saying about a particular topic. And this week, we're taking it to Houston, baby. As our Jacksonville Jaguars travel to take on the Texans, I asked you, the people, what is one thing the Jags need to do to secure that dub? So let's head to the phone lines and see what's really good Talk to me.
Yo, E.T.
Yeah?
All we got to do is show up, baby, because them Texans are trash.
Oh, my dog coming in hot.
Come on, somebody.
I love that energy, my boy. Come on, somebody.
Yo, E.T.
What's good, homie?
If we want to stop the Texans this week, brother, we got to do one thing, and that's stop the run. Now let's say it with our chest.
Say it with your chest, boy.
Duval!
Come on, somebody.
E.T., it's your boy JK3.
JKLMNOP. What's good, homie?
One thing the Jags need to do this week is let my boy Trevor Lawrence throw it to who? Marvin Jones. Who? Marvin Jones.
I see what you did there, JK.
Go Jags, baby. Let's get this dub. Duval!
Throw that thing to Marvin Jones so we can get this dub. Come on, somebody.
I just think the execution of the assignment, whatever the play is, take it one play at a time.
Look at Double D coming through with the gems.
And if you do that, enough plays will happen where you'll see a victory on the board.
Y'all better listen to Donovan Darius. Y'all seen that man arms? The only appropriate response is, sir, yes, sir.
Yo, E to the team.
Yeah.
What's up, man? This is Erica Simon calling from Houston, Texas. But the folks in Jacksonville, they remember me as Erica Bennett during my time on Action News Jack.
Big Steppers has entered the chat. What's good, EB? Miss Simon.
Man, listen, this weekend is going to be tough. My house will be divided. You know your homie TJ is a Jacksonville guy through and through.
A true Duval County representative.
But I'm a native Texan, originally from Dallas, and H-Town is where we call home.
Don't be hitting my land with no foolishness, E.
H-Town is what pays me.
All right, I can't even argue that.
The Texans, man, yeah, I tell you, they really love them here in Houston, so I'm going to have to block out some of that and rock the teal, bring that back out of my closet.
Teal with it.
We missed all you guys, and, one time for the one time. Duval!
Duval! Come on, somebody.
Tizzle, it's your boy Rudy, back again, baby.
Family, what's good with it?
There's no reason Jacksonville should walk out here with a victory, man. Smart football. As simple as it sounds, still got to go out there and do it, man. Duval!
Make sure you represent for us out there in Houston, big fella.
Key to victory is just manning the up and kicking the guy's ass across from you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tommy Mack has entered the chat.
No gimmicks, no catchphrases, just man the up. Go Jags!
Well, on that note, let's go get this dub. Tons of Jags fans made the trip to Houston for the game. Y'all be safe, be smart, but most of all, if you gonna say it with your chest. Come on, somebody.
Come on, everybody.
I love
that's
it.
E.T., and you can get your Jaguars thoughts in each week on his call-in line, 904-207-7071. Awesome.
One of a kind, man. He's fantastic. He does it every single day, brings that same energy to Jaguars today throughout the week, and we could not love E.T. anymore.
We are just getting started on the Publix Tailgate show ahead of week number 1, coming up at 10:35.
When you put the work in and you grind, it's time for kickoff. Put the ball down.
It's defensive coordinator Joe Cullen. Put the ball down, he says, and get ready to play some defense. His first time as a defensive coordinator in the league. Up next, we'll hear from CBS sports analyst Adam Archuleta explaining building and maintaining a culture of excellence in Jacksonville. It's kickoff weekend. The Jags and the Texans at 1 o'clock. And from TIAA Bank Field, this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
You're beyond busy. Between work and the kids, the dogs and the cat, let us help. With Publix Delivery powered by Instacart, you'll get the items you need from the store you know. Just shop online, select the time you'd like your order delivered, and grocery shopping is done, giving you more time to take care of everything else.
Publix Delivery, powered by Instacart. Visit Publix.com/delivery to shop now. That's Publix.com/delivery. Item prices vary from in-store prices. Service fees may apply. Available in select zip codes. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
At ViStar, we believe in better. Better convenience, so members can bank any way they want. Whether it's at a branch, on a mobile device, or at one of more than 20,000 surcharge-free ATMs across North America. Because we believe that people have better things to do with their time. If you believe that convenience is better, join ViStar. Visit ViStarCU.org. All loans subject to approval, insured by NCUA.
As J-Tech continues to train tomorrow's technicians right here in Jacksonville and supply them throughout the Southeast, they wanted everyone to know that they are the biggest Jaguars fans around. J-Tech is super excited about this season. They are equally excited about the $6.8 million improvement of their facility and the program growth in auto, diesel, HVAC, marine, and RV programs. Come check them out on the south side of Jacksonville or visit online at jtech.org.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat, even after all these years. Head over to Tito'sVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
A lot has changed in 60 years, but there's one thing that remains the same. Our commitment to our customers and to our community. There's no place like Jacksonville, and there's no place like Gate. Thank you for allowing us to serve you, past, present, and future. Now through August 31st, Jags fans can enjoy 2 of your favorite roller grill items for just $2 at participating Gate locations. Get them while they're hot. Gate, serving up more.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Jaguars Game Day is presented by ViStar Credit Union. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. The Publix Tailgate Show rolls along. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. The Jags and the Texans coming up at NRG Stadium down in Houston, Texas. 1 o'clock the kickoff time, and a wildly anticipated week number 1 in the NFL. We visited this week with Adam Archuleta, the analyst for today's game on CBS Sports. Archuleta, a former first-round pick safety of the Rams, had time with Washington, the Bears, and the Raiders in his career. He's been an NFL on CBS analyst since 2013, and plenty of thoughts about where the Jaguars stand headed into week number 1. Great to see you again, and happy kickoff weekend.
Yeah, it's good to be back in the saddle. That's for sure. It's always interesting after going 8 or 9 months in between doing games and just getting back into the swing of things. But there's nothing like the start of football season, whether you're playing or announcing. It's a great time.
The Jaguars are currently, Adam, on a 15-game losing streak, unfortunately. That's got to end at some point soon. It's a new era of Jaguars football, new coach, new quarterback, brand new defense. I mean, you've been covering Jaguars games for a long time on CBS. You started with the NFL on CBS in 2013. It has been quite a journey for this organization from that time to now, and hopefully it's the start of a brand new future.
You're right. I've seen the Jaguars go through big ebbs and flows from Gus to Doug Marrone and Tom Coughlin and now Urban Meyer. I've seen, as you guys have, a lot of different quarterbacks that were supposed to be the answer. But I got to say, if you want to be optimistic, and you are optimistic, I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. Trevor Lawrence is now your quarterback. If he can't do it, I don't know who can. So, it's going to be a bumpy season. There's going to be ups and downs. On paper right now, he has everything that it takes to be that guy for you guys. So the enthusiasm is well-deserved.
Urban Meyer spent the whole offseason, Adam, trying to establish the culture here. I guess the question is, how do you know when a culture is established? When do you stop pressing the gas pedal on that car and just get to going week to week and coaching football games? Or is it a constant evolution and reminder of what the culture should be?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think you're always toying with it. And I think when you get a locker room and the same message, it becomes stagnant and it becomes on repeat, then you start to lose things. I think culture certainly it starts with being able to draft and develop your young talent, right? And not have to go out and really stock your team with a bunch of different free agents. You need those pieces, sure, but the culture really comes from getting those young guys. And one thing, I mentioned Gus and I mentioned Coughlin and Marone, very different personalities, very different cultures. Both are successful. To me, what it comes down to as a player is very simple. If I buy in to what you're teaching me and I see the result on the field, meaning I make more plays and I'm having success, then I don't really care what kind of coach you are. I don't care if you're positive like Gus or authoritative. I don't care what it is, because the bottom line is, if I buy into you, am I a better player at the end of the day? And if these coaches and this staff can instill that in the players, well, then your culture is going to be just fine. But players are really good at sniffing out, like, if you're a phony. And if I buy in and then I'm not getting rewarded, well, then all of a sudden, now we have a problem. So I think that's really what it comes down to. And look, not to say that the previous two coaches didn't do that, because they are wildly successful, right? It just didn't translate to getting it done on the field.
Adam Archuleta with us. You touched on Trevor Lawrence. He's the number one overall pick, and historically, number one overall picks struggle from time to time in their first year, and a lot of rookie quarterbacks do. It's just the name of the game. This one feels a little different coming in. There's a lot of guys back from a 1-15 football team on this offense. The entire line is back, couple receivers, the running back. You're plugging in Trevor Lawrence. Can they lean on him right away and open up this full playbook, or do you work him into it as the weeks go along?
I don't really think that you can really, throw the kitchen sink. This is going to be a progression. And if you've been around the NFL, there are going to be ups and downs, and there's a good chance he might struggle mightily. The best example I think I can come up with to explain this process, and somebody I was completely wrong on, was Josh Allen. I did maybe 3 or 4 of Josh Allen's games as a rookie. I had severe questions. Where he had to come from. He was so raw, and he came from, I've never seen a quarterback come from that level of rawness, right? He made improvements in his second year, but I still had reservations. There was some basic stuff that he just wasn't getting. And I really, really questioned on whether or not, he was going to be an effective quarterback. And then all of a sudden, bam, right? And now this guy, it's legit. Like, it's the real deal, legit, bona fide guy. But it was a rocky first 2 years. You see it, the early success Baker Mayfield had when he came in, kind of took over and gave Cleveland a shot in the arm, gave him some energy. Then he struggled in year 2, and he had some questions. Kevin Stefanski comes in. You see last year, he starts to turn it around and starts to make plays again. So I know we want to see Trevor Lawrence come out and just light it up and be on fire. Chances are that's not going to happen. But again, if he can't do it, I don't know who can. He might be maybe the most polished, guy coming out of college since Andrew Luck. And certainly Luck had some good times as a rookie. But you just got to ride the journey, and you just got to, be willing to take it, Jacksonville fans. Some great moments, some head-scratching moments. But that's the beauty of being a football fan.
Adam Archuleta with us. This defense last year couldn't stop the run at all, Adam. They were 31st in the league against the run. They made it a priority in the offseason, though, in personnel to go get a bunch of free agent players up front, a new linebacker. They added a bunch in free agency in the defensive backfield, put some draft equity into that, too. The question is, what is this thing going to look like on defense? First of all, it's a whole brand new scheme, 3-4. They're multiple, a new coordinator, so many new faces. I think that's the real question mark of this game on Sunday is what in the heck is this thing going to look like?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. It's funny because you go to the Texans side and they're almost swapping places. So the Texans were, extremely multiple and doing all that stuff with Romeo's influence. Now they go to, Lovie Smith, who keeps it more simple and gets guys to play fast. On the other side, if they're going to bring that Ravens kind of style that they're kind of known for, it's going to be extremely multiple, right? And so you got a coach that's coming from a place with a track record of doing two things, putting tremendous pressure on the quarterback and playing with an extremely physical style. I mean, that's been the Raven blueprint for years. Obviously they draft well, they get good players, they develop players. If it resembles anything like what they've been able to build in Baltimore, then I think it's going to be a treat. But again, these are two brand new staff, got a bunch of new players, a bunch of new faces. This thing is going to take time. They've had to rebuild this thing. But there's no doubt that up front is where it starts in the NFL. If you've got guys that can be physical and stuff the run, and then obviously get after the passer and harass him, that is really the first two ingredients that you need for a top-end defense.
Adam, it feels like a big year for Josh Allen. He missed a bunch of games last year, defensive end and outside linebacker now. A little different setup in this scheme for him. What kind of year can you expect from Allen coming off? He's healthy now and all this new environment around him.
Well, yeah, it always comes down to health first and foremost. And, that's the number one thing that can kind of derail a player who has a lot of promise and has some very early success, right? So, if he resembles anything like he was as a rookie, hey, lights out. Now, as a rookie, he was more of a situational guy, wasn't really a 3-down guy. And so he got a chance with a pretty good pass rusher on the other side to take some of the heat off of him, but now he's probably going to be asked to carry the load a little bit. Again, he is being taught and in a system that really has it dialed in on how they use the beat protections, how they get after the passer, how they manufacture rush. In order to do that, you've got to have a pretty disciplined secondary that can communicate, and not get mixed up and not give, free players or free access to some big plays. If their defensive coordinator's history is any predictor, they should be able to manufacture some pretty good pressures and put a guy like Allen in one-on-one matchups. And I expect that he's going to emerge as, that premier rushing end.
Adam Archuleta, CBS Sports analyst. He'll be on the call today with the legendary play-by-play man Greg Gumbel and good crew there for CBS. A.J. Ross on the sideline today. Going back to the quarterback thought he had there, number one overall picks quarterback historically in their first start in the NFL since in the common draft era from 1967 to now. They have 4 wins, 20 losses, and 1 tie. The last number one overall pick to win their first career start was David Carr in 2002. Kyler Murray was the tie a couple years ago, by the way. And pretty much all these guys, even the winners, historically, just statistically don't perform well in their first outing.
No, but they all haven't had the same acclaim as Trevor Lawrence, right? I mean, for every Trevor Lawrence, there are several Jamarcus Russells or other guy Tim Couches that just are good players and maybe the best of that lot, but are not seen as, that word generational gets thrown around a lot. One of the best prospects in a decade. Let's leave it at that. So I don't think any past history has any bearing on what Trevor Lawrence does today. By the way, David Carr taking over the expansion Texans. Yeah. Major upset when they beat the Dolphins in that opener, and all went downhill from there for David Carr. So I think Trevor Lawrence can get that victory today, and obviously have a much more successful career than the vast majority of those guys who went number one overall.
Plenty ahead on the Publix Tailgate Show coming up at 10:47.
This is a lot of excitement around the city, and we just don't want to let anyone down. We're taking it one game at a time, but our ultimate goal is to be in L.A. at the end of the year.
That's Damien Wilson, the veteran linebacker, making his Jaguars debut, looking ahead to the future. But up next, a pregame conversation with Jags defensive coordinator Joe Cullen. The Jags and the Texans at 1 o'clock in Houston, and this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
Hi, this is Dr. Patrick Basil of Basil Plastic Surgery and Wellness. I'm a proud veteran of the U.S. Navy, and during my active duty time, I had the amazing privilege to serve our country and those who were wounded in combat. Helping my patients return to a normal life, I was able to provide an unparalleled level of care, which I've carried over to my own private practice today. As the official plastic surgeon of the Jaguars, I invite you to visit us at patrickbasilmd.com and would like to wish the Jags best of luck in today's game.
Everyone's so busy keeping up. Forget about the Joneses. We all on our telephones with the texts and the tweets and the beats. What he said, she said, can't even follow the thread. Down the hole, we all go. Me, I like keeping up too, with my Corona and my attitude. That's La Vida Más Fina.
Relax responsibly.
Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Nothing kicks off your game better than a handful of Georgia peanuts. Power-packed with protein, essential nutrients, and great taste, Georgia peanuts are the MVP for affordability, sustainability, and nutrition. To score life's touchdowns with recipes and fun facts, check out GAPeanuts.com. The perfectly powerful peanut is brought to you by the family farmers of the Georgia Peanut Commission.
Peanuts! Get your peanuts!
Any repeated physical activity puts stress on the body. Checking your phone, getting in the car, sitting at your desk, checking the phone, getting in your car, sitting at your desk, checking your phone for the 50th time today. If you do anything with regularity, you should get massaged with regularity. Massage Envy. Keep your body working.
Regular body work makes the body work with massage, skincare, and stretch. Come in today for more information or visit massageenvy.com for more details.
The Dick's Wings and Grill family of restaurants is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars. They invite you to stop into one of their area neighborhood grills where you can count on fresh quality wings where you call the flavor. At Dick's Wings and Grill, their menu has a food and flavor for everyone in your group. If you prefer delivery or online ordering, just visit dickswingsandgrill.com. Every Dick's Wings and Grill is locally owned and operated. Dick's Wings and Grill, winging it since 1994.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
Welcome back to the Publix Tailgate Show. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville, ahead of the Jaguars and Texans on kickoff weekend. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff time at NRG Stadium in Houston. Check out the official Jaguars podcast network. It's a free subscription on Apple iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your pods. Jags Drive Time, Happy Hour, Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks, the Week in Review. Give us a comment and a 5-star rating. Joe Cullen has been a coach, football coach, for a long, long time. He's been in the NFL since about 2006, all as a defensive line coach. And, Mike, he's finally getting his opportunity to push the buttons as a defensive coordinator in the NFL today. And we had him here in Jacksonville for 3 seasons as a line coach before. He's back in the top role now on defense.
Yeah, and coming most recently from the Baltimore Ravens organization, which is a group that's been known for consistently good defensive outings and good defensive teams in recent years, and really going back quite a stretch. So he comes in, JP, with, I think, a more aggressive attitude than Todd Wash had, different philosophies. They can both work, and it worked well when the Jags had the right personnel to fit what Todd Wash wanted to do. I think Joe Cullen is about creating pressure more than just having the players go out there and lining up and trying to beat the man in front of them. Yes, you're going to have a lot of that as well, but scheme is a big part of this. He's, as we've heard, going to mix it up, a lot of different looks, but aggressiveness, I think, is the tone that he wants to set.
Let's hear what Cullen has to say before his coordinating debut in the NFL. Jaguars defensive coordinator Joe Cullen with us, and here we go. It is kickoff weekend finally, and let's start with you personally. You've been in the NFL since 2006. Your last time as a coordinator was 2004 with Indiana. This is a long time coming. Are you excited? Are you anxious? What's your feelings going into pushing the buttons?
No, I'm very excited. First of all, I appreciate you having me on. It's guys are really working hard. I mean, the staff, way back from when we first started back in January when Coach was hired. But, no, it's going to be exciting, and our players have worked hard. So, hey, when you put the work in and you grind, I mean, it's time for kickoff. Put the ball down.
Joe, the number one thing for this defense, you know it, everybody I think knows it, is stopping the run. It didn't get done around here last year, but there was a lot of equity spent in the offseason to try to fix that on the defensive line, at linebacker. I mean, and you're facing a Texans run game, some veteran running backs, guys who've been around the league for a long time. I think you'll get a pretty good idea quickly of if your defense can stop the run or not.
Well, as you know, they present problems with what they do offensively. You go back, I mean, I know last year their numbers didn't reflect, but 2 years ago when the place I was last at, we were going into the game. I think they had 3 200-yard run games in a row. So they get 5 really good running backs on the roster. Mark Ingram. Mark just went there. I know Mark well. He was with us in Baltimore. Rex. I mean, he's done a great job. Played against him, and when I was at Baltimore, he was at Cincinnati. Then the things he did at New England. Lindsey he's a game. I mean, he can take the ball and on any down, get to the house fast. I think he was a 4.2 something out of college. So they got a really good group of running backs. And as you look at them, Tyrod can run. I mean, just like they had with Deshaun. So, we're excited. We're ready to stop the run. And then you go to David Johnson can run the ball. They do some great things in their package that present problems because they got a lot of motion going sideways, and you start looking around. Next thing you know, you're out of a gap. But no, we're up to the challenge. We know it's going to be a challenge. They get a really good outfit, and we got to knock the run out and then get him in 3rd and long.
Yeah, and then once you get him in 3rd and long, keep Tyrod Taylor in the pocket. As you mentioned, he has some wheels too. If he gets outside, look out. That can be a real problem.
He does, and again, he's done it his whole career. So you got to really bottle him up. You got to really, collapse the pocket and keep him in the well, as we talk about, and then let the coverage and the rush work together. And there are opportunities where you scheme things where you can rip and roar and get upfield, but you can't do it. He'll just step up and take off. That's what he does well. He can beat you with his legs or his arm.
Joe Cullen with us, defensive coordinator. Let's touch on a few guys, one at each level of your defense here. Josh Allen, the preparation for season number 3 for him. He missed 8 games a year ago. It's been a strange kind of preseason for him on the COVID list at one point. He's back. He's ready to go, it feels like. Your interaction with Josh and your confidence level in Josh Allen at outside linebacker.
Confidence level extremely high. Josh was one right from the first day. I mean, living in the weight room, come back at his weight, 260 pounds. He's faster, he's bigger, he's stronger. And unfortunately, he had the COVID protocol deal. But yeah, I'm excited. Our staff's excited for Josh.
Miles Jack, I'm guessing, has the ear in his helmet to get the play call again at middle linebacker, or who does that for you now?
Yeah, we have different guys, but Miles has done it the last couple preseason games, and he's done a great job lining everybody up, getting the calls, and hadn't been a problem. And sometimes we've had safety, sometimes we've had backers. Right now it'll be Miles.
Yeah, and well, no matter who it is, with all of the different personnel groupings you have, that person better be pretty sharp, right? Have every I dotted, every T crossed, and know exactly what's going on.
No question about it, JP. I mean, basically, you got to close the front, you got to get the call, you got to communicate the call, get guys lined up, and then be ready to play. And he's done a great job at that.
Final thought with you: Shaq Griffin comes in, free agent addition at cornerback. And take us through his leadership ability on the back end of your defense.
Well, he's like another coach back there for those younger guys, Tyson and the CJ. CJ's still he's only been in the league a year, and so he's really done a great job through the leadership standpoint. He's a captain. We expected him to be, and from the first day to just like he's doing every day, the leadership. You saw the traits, you saw the work ethic, and that's why he's a pro's pro.
Joe, good luck to you. First coordinator game in a long, long time for you and first in the league. We're excited for you, and let's go get a W.
Well, I appreciate that. Thanks for having me on.
Joe Cullen, defensive coordinator. Rip and roar, Mike. We're ready.
Yeah, if you closed your eyes, you'd know Joe Cullen was a coach, probably a defensive coach, and a bit of a screamer. And that's exactly who he is. And they are ready, JP. Now, just got to unleash him, and hopefully they play up to his expectations.
If you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, then look no further than Ford F-150. Loaded with impressive capability and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between, this truck makes tough look easy. No wonder it's the official truck of the NFL and proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars. When we return, Jaguars linebacker Damien Wilson looks to carry the preseason momentum into Week 1 and another hour of the Publix Tailgate Show at 11 o'clock with a look at today's top headlines headed into week number 1. Bucky Brooks will join us. Tony Pacelli, Jeff Lageman joining us from Houston as well. 1 o'clock kickoff time, Jaguars, Texans. This is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
You're beyond busy. Between work and the kids, the dogs and the cat, let us help. With Publix Delivery powered by Instacart, you'll get the items you need from the store you know. Just shop online, select the time you'd like your order delivered, and grocery shopping is done, giving you more time to take care of everything else.
Publix Delivery, powered by Instacart. Visit Publix.com/delivery to shop now. That's Publix.com/delivery. Item prices vary from in-store prices. Service fees may apply. Available in select zip codes. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
If something's been hurting, aching, or bothering you, don't ignore it any longer. It's time to take care of your health again. It's time to make an appointment with a Baptist Health primary care doctor or specialist. Call 904-202-4U to schedule a virtual visit or see a doctor in person at a Baptist Health location. The time for better health is here. Call 904-202-4YOU or visit getbetterjacks.com.
It's a force that can't be contained. Propelled by purpose, pride, and the power to protect. When winning isn't just the mission, it's your passion. You pursue it. You make power plays. You pick your team. At Farrah & Farrah, we deliver game day energy 24/7. Jacksonville.
You're working from home. So how do you connect with coworkers and clients? With RingCentral, the #1 global communication solution for business. RingCentral makes talking, texting, collaborating, and video calls easy. And it's all on one platform. And when we say everyone should be connected, we mean it. It's why we're giving RingCentral free to educators, health providers, and nonprofits. Learn more at ringcentral.com. Welcome to the new RingCentral.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
When it comes to water, choose our team, the winning team. Choose CGC Water Treatment. CGC Water Treatment works, and it works for DG too, former Jags QB, David Garrard.
If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Discover the Kinetico difference.
Call CGC Water Treatment at 844-CGC-JAGS or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Kinetico dealers.
Jaguars Game Day is presented by ViStar Credit Union, and the Publix Tailgate Show continues from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. JP Shadrick along with Mike Dempsey, the Jags and the Texans at 1 o'clock in week number 1. Finally, at long last, we get to see this Jaguars team.
Yeah, look, and get the bad taste of last year out of all of our mouths, right? Although, this team, it's new every year. There's some players that are holdovers, JP, but just so much new, so much excitement. I don't think the players are dwelling on what happened last year. I think they're looking at this week as an opportunity to get a team that, believe it or not, the Jags walk in as a favorite against, coming off of a 15-game losing streak. So it tells you what kind of state of affairs is going on with Houston. This is a game that the Jags, I believe, need to get if they're going to reach their full potential this year. Whatever that is, the Houston Texans are a team that you can match up with if you're Jacksonville, even coming off that season, and expect to go into their ballpark and, if not come out with a W, at least be in the game the whole way.
Let's get now to our Baptist Health visit with a player. Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good. Damien Wilson comes to the Jaguars from free agency. He was with the Kansas City Chiefs the last 2 years, played in the Super Bowl the last 2 seasons. Of course, the Chiefs won 2 years ago. They were in it last year again, and a big piece in the middle of this Jaguars defense. New Jaguars linebacker Damien Wilson joining us now in your 7th year. It's kickoff weekend, Damien. So At this point in your career, do you still get anxiety, nervousness, butterflies going into week one or no?
Of course, all the way up to the first hit that I get. I think that's just the excitement and the love of the game. Like that, the anxiety gonna be there no matter how many games that you play.
You know, this has been an offseason of establishing a culture around here. There's a lot of new faces, certainly on the defensive side, new coaching staff and Urban Meyer. You've been around championship organizations before, obviously, in Kansas City the last couple of years. What is it about this organization? Are they on the right track with the messaging and establishing the culture here in Jacksonville?
Well, first of all, I think big shout out to Coach Meyer. I think he done a great job in his first year of getting everybody to buy in. And this is a lot of excitement around the city, and we just don't want to let anyone down. We're taking it one game at a time, but our ultimate goal is to be in LA at the end of the year.
I think that's for everybody, too. Damien Wilson with us, Jaguars linebacker. What is the personality of this defense going to be when we look towards the end of the season? What is this defense about?
I mean, this is no surprises with high-effort defense, hard-nosed. Pretty much every defense in the NFL is going to pride themselves on stopping the run, so that's nothing new for us there. And I think we got a good amount of playmakers to take away the ball from opposing offenses.
That's been priority number one, the run stopping. It wasn't great last year around here, so a lot of money in free agency up front on the defensive line to start that. And, of course, you were brought in as well. That's where it really starts and ends, right? If you can't stop the run in the NFL, then teams can do whatever they want against you.
They can really toy with you if you can't stop their run.
Damien Wilson with us. And speaking of running attacks, the Houston Texans have quite a stable of veteran backs in the backfield there and a quarterback that can
– They got backs across the board. I'm talking about big name guys, too, that can do a lot of different things, man. They're going to be a load to stop.
Take us through the challenge of a mobile quarterback like Tyrod Taylor. You got to be careful of him getting out of the pocket, out loose, and he can really do some damage.
Absolutely. He can quickly turn into one of those dangerous backs I was talking about, man. So we got a good little game plan with him. We're going to try to keep him in the pocket and make him throw from there.
Take us through the preseason and training camp's now over. You know, this defense with so many new pieces to it, you included, coming together as one. I mean, you guys have all played football for a long time, so it's not a foreign subject to you. But how difficult is that to get that cohesion, that chemistry? Is it there going into week one?
We feel like it's there, but the ultimate test is game reps, you know, when things start flying around in full speed action and your back's against the wall, we really gonna see what we got come week one.
Damien, great talk. Good luck to you this week in Houston as the Jaguars face the Texans. We'll talk to you down the line.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Damien Wilson, Jaguars linebacker addition in free agency. And I think he, because of the other additions in free agency, may be a little bit overshadowed by name coming in. Let's see how he plays the other day. That might change in a hurry.
Well, look, he obviously impressed the coaching staff. You heard early in the offseason they really liked his downhill style and thought he'd be a good fit as the middle linebacker in, I know it's kind of a bit of a misnomer, but the guy who's considered the middle linebacker in a 3-4 look, whereas Joe Schobert is more of a coverage linebacker. They wanted more of a downhill thumper, and it was the play of Wilson and to some degree Shaq Quarterman this offseason, JP, that they felt made Schobert expendable. They made that trade with Pittsburgh, so Wilson gets this great opportunity.
That's our Baptist Health visit with a player. Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good. And time now for our weekly commentary from Jaguars sideline reporter Rick Ballou. We call it Has Rick Lost It?
All right, so here we are in Houston, and, I thought I'd do things a little bit differently here on opening day. I thought I'd give you some facts and numbers. How does that sound? Let's begin with Urban Meyer. He's never lost on opening day. All right, Bowling Green, Utah, Florida, Ohio State, never is lost. Fact, 6 in a row in this series has gone the way of Houston. Yeah, they've won 6 straight. They've won at 12 of 14. They've also won 17 of the last 21. However, Houston has a brand new staff, 31 new players, including only 2 returning starters on the offense, that same offense which knocked off the Jaguars this past October. 11.7 points a game. That's a number, okay? Fact, that is the margin of victory last year between what the Jaguars scored and what they allowed. Question, can they score 3 more points a game? Will they allow 3 less a game? If so, you look at last year's record, instead of 1-15, they actually would have won 7 games. I get it. That's the NFL. Fact, turnover ratio for the Jaguars last year, -8. All right, you look at the numbers around the league, 11 of the 12 playoff teams were the best in turnover margin in the NFL. Pretty incredible. Playoffs, now I'm not saying the playoffs, but the fact is, in the last 18 years, 16 teams have gone from worst to first in the division. Fact, Houston has added 3 running backs, Phillip Lindsay, Mark Ingram, Rex Burkhead. They will try the power run game against the Jaguars, which was 30th in the NFL last season. They allowed 153 yards a game. Fact, only 3 times since the merger in the National Football League has a rookie quarterback been favored in Week 1 on the road. Today, Trevor Lawrence leads this team to a victory.
Fact, that is Rick Ballou, Jaguars sideline reporter, with his weekly commentary on the Publix Tailgate show. The Jaguars trying to reverse the trend against the Houston Texans. They have not fared well at all in the last 10 years, especially against Houston. It has been all Houston most of the time in this series.
Oh, yeah, 17-4 in that stretch. But, look, none of that matters anymore, right? None of those teams had Trevor Lawrence on them, JP, and none of those Houston Texan teams were quarterbacked by Tyrod Taylor, with Deshaun Watson expected to be inactive maybe for the entirety of the season. So right now, feels like 2 franchises moving in opposite directions, but you got to go out there and prove it on the field.
A lot of new coming up today. We're back in a moment. The second hour of the Publix Tailgate Show will have the top stories of the week. Bucky Brooks will join us live, NFL Network analyst. Plus, first rounds on us. We head to Houston for our weekly visit with our former first-round picks, Tony Baselli and Jeff Lageman. Jags and Texans tee it up at 1 o'clock on kickoff weekend, and this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio. Headquartered right here in Jacksonville, CSI Companies is one of the fastest-growing workforce solutions companies in the nation. As a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars, CSI has the resources necessary to scale with any enterprise, yet they are small enough to maintain the agility, personal service, and remarkable experience they've become known for over the past 3 decades. This is your workforce and your business reimagined. Visit CSICompanies.com to learn more.
Kessler Creative, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, has been a leader in direct mail for over a decade. Using the latest technology, Kessler Creative can now reach your ideal audience even more effectively. Choose between a collection of response channels from email and SMS texting to land pages designed to engage and initiate responses with potential customers. Kessler Creative, Jacksonville, Florida. Results-driven marketing and a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 44 years straight. Built for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't built for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
Hey Jags fans, heading to TIAA Bank for a game? Take advantage of Jags Pay and keep your stadium transactions touch-free. Jags Pay is an all-new partnership between the Jaguars and Tap It to give our fans a contactless payment option for all concessions and merchandise. It's fast, safe, and easy to use. Just download the official Jaguars app on any mobile device, tap Jags Pay, and set up your secure payment method. You're all set. To learn more, visit jaguars.com/JagsPay. See you at the bank. Fans like you have been told that going all out is going too far. But fans like you know better. You're the kind of fan who loves the team as much as your pet, who paints yourself for game days and dyes your pet's fur to match. You are a rare breed. You are a pet fanatic, equal parts pet obsessed and diehard sports fan. At Pet Paradise, they're crazy about pets too. The official pet care provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Pet Paradise. It's a new day in pet care.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now, bucket dunking now, namasteing now, popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
The Publix Tailgate Show continues right now.
Welcome back. It's hour 2 of the Publix Tailgate Show. Jaguars Game Day is presented by ViStar Credit Union. A 1 o'clock kickoff time today for the Jaguars and the Houston Texans at NRG Stadium. And at long last, it's here. The new era of Jaguars football. A new head coach, a mostly new coaching staff, a new quarterback, a new defensive scheme with mostly new defensive players. That's a lot of new. But this team is on a 15-game losing skid. Let's start with a new way to finish a game and get a W today.
That'd be great. Follow the old way and win the opener, right? Well, that's the one thing we want to take from 2020, JP. Right. But other than that, win a divisional game in week 1. It is new, and it's great. I mean, look, every year is new. I get it. But Jaguar fans, this is so anticipated because, you go all the way back to December of last year when we were watching the scoreboard. Would the Jets win a football game? Then would they win another one? Yes, they would. And clinching the Jags the opportunity to select Trevor Lawrence. We knew it at the time. As soon as they were in position, Trevor Lawrence was going to be the quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Everything else was hemming and hawing and analysis, but you knew that is where it would land. That's exactly where it landed. So Jaguar fans have something they haven't had in at least several years, and that's hope.
Let's get to today's top stories. It's game 1 for head coach Urban Meyer. 1 of 17 games, no rankings, no voters, just wins and losses. A much different feel than in college for one of the great college coaches of all time.
Certainly in college, it's a March Madness. It's just a little different that you can't lose a game in college. And professional football reality is reality. But this is a tone setter. This is a setter for everything. But it's also the first game.
Yeah, 16 more to go, but it would be really nice to get that first one.
Bro, that's such a big one. All I've been talking about for weeks is please give us the experience of a 1-0 Jaguar team coming into the home debut of all this newness that we've been talking about. So, look, I'd love for the Jags to light up the scoreboard and dominate defensively today. Any W, as long as they remain mostly healthy, is going to be a good one and a great way to start the Urban Meyer era.
Game 1 for quarterback Trevor Lawrence, his first opponent, the Houston Texans, and a different-looking defense down there from years past.
Just a really sound defense. They don't try to necessarily trick you. They don't have a bunch of crazy looks and, all these different coverages. They keep it pretty simple, but the tough thing about that is when you keep something simple, everyone's exactly where they're supposed to be, so it makes those windows tighter. They do a really good job when they play man coverage of not giving up big plays, so that'll be a challenge. But definitely like what we've seen from our group. But they do a good job, zone eyes, really good job reading the quarterback. Like they've forced 10 turnovers this preseason, which is 3 games. That's a lot of turnovers. So that's one thing that jumps out off the page when you're looking at just their stats. But just the way they fly around has been impressive to watch.
There's been a lot of change, of course, down in Houston in a whole lot of different ways. One of those is on defense. So many of the contributors there over the last few years have gone on to different things. J.J. Watt is gone, most notably. Jadeveon Clowney is no longer there. They still have Zach Cunningham at linebacker, the leading tackler in the league a year ago. Whitney Merciless is getting a little longer in the tooth. They have some pieces there, but it is a new scheme and a new feel this year.
Oh, absolutely. Whitney Merciless has been a Jaguar killer in his career, has had a lot of success in the pass rush against this football team. Zach Cunningham's the best player on that team. They bring in Christian Kirksey to play the middle linebacker spot, and as Trevor Lawrence pointed out there, that this is a team that generated a ton of turnovers in the preseason. Granted, it's the preseason, but wouldn't you feel better if the Jags had created 10 turnovers in 3 games? So it's something to be mindful of. Trevor Lawrence is not the type who's just going to throw it to the other team that often, but 10 turnovers indicates this is a team that's creating their own opportunities on defense.
Let's go to defense now for the Jaguars. Middle linebacker Miles Jack enters season number 6. It's been an up-and-down journey for the Jags during his time here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, we've definitely had some longer seasons than others, you know what I mean, in the past. But, it's been a really cool journey. It's crazy. I was actually thinking about it because we had the weekend off and everything and just kind of going through the time frame. I couldn't imagine it going like this, and I've enjoyed every second of it. It's been great, and hopefully, year 6, we can start to kind of turn that Jaguar name around, and we've shaking up the whole building from top to bottom, so it's going to be really exciting.
Shaking up the building from top to bottom, own the emblem, all of that stuff from Miles Jack.
Look, he indicates like he's really happy with how the offseason has gone. I can't believe that. If you pick up any publication outside the 904 area code, JP, it's a total catastrophe in Jacksonville. Miles Jack has seen bad, and I think he thinks this is a program and organization that's headed in the right direction, but the proof's on the field, man. Like you said, look, we wish we had longer seasons like we had in 2017, but I know what he's talking about. The seasons have felt so long because you're just trying to get to the end with no hope in sight. The different circumstances this year. They may not be going to the playoffs this year, but this team is going to have a different feel to it, I believe, than recent seasons.
Let's hear from Joe Cullen, Jaguars defensive coordinator, lining up against Tyrod Taylor at quarterback for the Texans today. And Joe Cullen dug deep in the film room to get a good look at the Texans signal caller.
The big thing is when he can make the deep throws. He's a Pro Bowl quarterback. He can win the game with his feet if they like to do that. And we got to do a great job. So when we went back to all his time at Buffalo, we opened the season with him when we were at Baltimore. And the biggest thing we want to do is make sure we kept him in the pocket because that's where he was beating people. So we just go back to see not necessarily the plays, and then we looked at the playoff game here, and they were doing a lot of Buffalo was doing a lot of similar things that Houston's doing, booting them out, sprinting them out. So we went back to those 2 games.
So you did the playoff game the Jags played against him?
Yeah, the Jags and when Baltimore opened against them.
The research knows no bounds in the National Football League, especially for a guy as well-traveled as Tyrod Taylor. Those are some of today's top stories. Game day weather is presented by roofclaim.com. Protection made simple here in Jacksonville today. 82 degrees currently, a high of 86, humidity at 65%. It is mostly sunny today, so enjoy the day here. In Houston, they're in air-conditioned comfort. It is a retractable roof stadium in NRG Stadium, but the roof is closed. Let's go now to Los Angeles, California, and welcome in Jaguars analyst, NFL Network analyst, Bucky Brooks, joining us on the Publix Tailgate Show. Good morning to you, Bucky, and happy kickoff weekend.
Hey, it's Sunday fun day. You got to be excited about it. Season opener, Jaguars get a chance to get a dub, so we got to be excited about it.
Yeah, we're fired up to get this thing going, and we're fired up to see how Urban Meyer gets this thing going, how Trevor Lawrence gets it going, and how the defense looks. That's, I think, the big 3 things today. It's a lot of new going on here.
Yeah, a lot of new. I think the first 2 things are really what everyone's excited about. Urban Meyer and how does he get Trevor Lawrence up and going? You got a franchise quarterback coming in. You have a program guy who understands how to turn things around. So how do they get this going? And I think for Trevor Lawrence, I think he hit the nail on the head when he talked about Houston's defense being one where they play with eyes. Zone defense, they want to look at the eyes. One of the reasons why they've been able to get so many turnovers in the preseason, because they see the ball come out of the quarterback's hands. It allows them to react quick. And Lovie Smith is on his guys about running to the football. That's when good things happen. So for Trevor Lawrence, this is going to be a test of patience and discipline. The 2-deep scheme is going to take away the deep ball. Is he patient enough to take the check down and slowly, methodically move the ball down the field? Because if he's patient, he can defeat it. But if he tries to get hurried or wants to push the ball down the field when it's not there, that's when the turnovers happen. He has to be very, very patient and exercise some restraint today.
Bucky, good morning. The Jags want to run the football this year. We know that. But, they've got this weapon in Trevor Lawrence. It's a passing league. What's your approach today to try to attack that Texan defense? Are you coming out trying to establish J-Rob, or are you going to cut Lawrence loose a little bit early on?
Yeah, I think it has to be a mix. I think it's very similar to the way we saw the preseason finale, where early on, Trevor Lawrence got out on first down, quick movement passes, bootleg passes, things that allow the Jaguars to play ahead of the chains. And then you want to make sure that you're able to run the football with James Robinson. I don't think you can do the old school, run it on first and second down, Trevor Lawrence bail us out on third down. I don't think that's the recipe for success. It has to be trusting Trevor to throw it on some early downs against an 8-man front when it's one-on-one on the outside, and then versus those one-on-one coverages, the guys on the outside have to win.
Bucky Brooks with us, NFL Network analyst and the Jaguars preseason TV analyst and a host of Get this, Mike. Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.
How about that?
Imagine that. He is the host of that program, too, on Wednesdays on Jaguars.com. This Jaguars defense is all new. We've talked about it all preseason here. We've heard from Joe Cullen a good bit today about the different packages and options they have on defense. Well, with all of that change in game, I mean, you have to have players that can go execute that, and it's not going to be simple. There's a lot of different things this defense can do.
Yeah, a lot of different things that a defense can do. And I think Joe Cullen kind of tipped his hand in terms of how they want to play it. Typically, we're used to seeing the Joe Cullen's defenses or the teams he's been associated with bringing a ton of pressure from all angles. The pressure will come, but it may be more of a mush rush as opposed to an all-out, let's get after the quarterback and harass him, because Tyrod Taylor does his best work when he's on the edges of the pocket. And so if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, keep him in the pocket and, as they say, make him throw from the well. Make him throw over the big bodies inside, because he still is a smaller quarterback. Make him throw over the well. And in the back end, what you're looking for, can you get an interception or two off a tip or an overthrow? He's in the pocket. He can't see it. The ball floats and flutters. Someone in the back end picks it off. That has to be the approach. And the final part to that is squash the running game. If you eliminate the running game and make Tyrod Taylor become a drop back passer, that is in the Jaguars' favor. It has to be about stopping the run and making Tyrod throw it 35 or more times for the Texans to have a chance of winning.
Bucky, last year we would have been happy in a lot of occasions if the Jags had just kept it close. And in close games, it comes down to the kicking game quite often. Since he got here, Josh Lambo's been the most accurate kicker in the National Football League, but it hasn't been a great offseason coming off of injury for him. What's your confidence level right now in that aspect of the Jaguars?
Yeah, it's 50-50 because he has missed a ton. He's missed some in practice. He's missed some in games. He's bounced back. But typically, man, when kickers get into a rut, it is hard for them to pull themselves out of it. What you would like to see is the first couple kicks that he has, he knocks them right through the middle, and he gets his confidence because he has been rock solid for the Jaguars since coming over. But, man, you always worry when guys have not been able to kick consistently in the offseason, and that struggle kind of shows up in preseason. But let's be hopeful that Lambo has found his stride and he'll find his rhythm early in the season.
Bucky Brooks with us on the Publix Tailgate Show. You know, the entire offseason for Urban Meyer has been trying to establish a new culture of Jaguars football. And I asked Adam Archuleta this earlier. He's the analyst, and he has the call on CBS today. At some point, do you stop establishing the culture and just go play football, or is that a constant evolution as the season goes along, especially in a first year for Urban Meyer?
No, it's constant, and it's ongoing, and it's for every year of his tenure. You have to really protect and maintain the culture, meaning the expectations, the way that you do things, the why behind the things that you're doing. And so whatever Urban's culture is, particularly when he talks about a competitive environment where people are going fast and playing fast, free from clutter, he has to stay on that. And it's not just the players, it's the coaches. Let's make sure we're putting the players in the best position where they can play fast and free and not have to think, where they can go and hunt and get after it. And then it's on the players every day. Every day you show up, let's make sure we're being competitive, that we are winning, we're focused on winning, and we're doing the things that are necessary to win. And so it has to be something that is monitored every day, not just in year one, but in every year that Urban Meyer is the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He has to make sure that things are going the way that he sees it, because if not, it quickly falls apart.
Bucky, a lot of players will tell you that they don't pay attention to what is said or written about them. I tend to not believe most of those players. Look, the Jags come in a 1-15 team, favored on the road in their opener, and I'm sure that has seeped into their consciousness a little bit. Does that have any impact in terms of preparation or mindset when a team is opening up a season?
I think you obviously like to hear the good things that people are saying about you. And so if they have been reading good things, then that's positive. But as a player, let's be clear. They know everything that's being written and said about them. If they don't see it directly, they have a family member or a friend that contacts them. That's why we love, as players, to always talk about the quote-unquote haters. And so that's one of the things that's going to come up. And there's been a lot of conversation about the Jaguars. Obviously, with Urban Meyer coming on board, Trevor Lawrence, there are more eyes and attention on him. People want to know, can a college coach come to the National Football League and have success? So they hear it, and they feel it, and they sense it, and Urban hears it and feels it. And so when you have competitive guys and a bunch of alpha dogs in the locker room, they love nothing more than to shove it down people's throats. So we'll see if they can play well and begin to give back some of that stuff people have been giving them in the offseason.
There he is. It's early bird Bucky Brooks joining us from Los Angeles. And, Bucky, we will talk to you again in the Scoreboard Show an hour after the final gun today, hopefully after Jaguars win, where we'll take phone calls. And looking forward to doing that again, Buck.
Hey, for sure, man. Y'all have fun.
Bucky Brooks out of here on the Publix Tailgate Show. And when we return, it's First Rounds on us. We'll head to Houston for the first time today and check in with our resident first-round picks and Jaguars analysts Jeff Lageman and Tony Baselli. The Jags and the Texans in Week 1 with a 1 o'clock kickoff time, and this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
You're beyond busy. Between work and the kids, the dogs and the cat, let us help. With Publix Delivery powered by Instacart, you'll get the items you need from the store you know. Just shop online, select the time you'd like your order delivered, and grocery shopping is done, giving you more time to take care of everything else.
Publix Delivery, powered by Instacart. Visit Publix.com/delivery to shop now. That's Publix.com/delivery. Item prices vary from in-store prices. Service fees may apply. Available in select zip codes. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Hey Jags fans, in Duval we all hope to get to our destination safely, and that includes pedestrians. The Florida Department of Transportation is keeping people who walk safe by adding rectangular rapid flashing beacons in high traffic areas. When you're at the crosswalk, press the button to activate the beacon. The lights flash yellow, alerting drivers to stop. Remember pedestrians, never step into the crosswalk until drivers have come to a complete stop. Alert today, alive tomorrow, because safety doesn't happen by accident.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Daly's.
Yingling Traditional Lager. The beer for drinkers who know how to tap into their inner eagle and spread their wings. So prepare yourself for takeoff and let your night take flight. When your lips meet that cold, crisp amber lager, there's no looking back. So fly over the radar. Tonight's about the lager, and this lager is all about soaring higher. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings. DJ Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please drink responsibly.
So we had a problem with our office IT systems a few months back. And of course, I don't want the boss getting upset about it, since she still hasn't forgiven me for last month's wardrobe malfunction. So I did the smart thing and called Sassine's Office Systems. They've provided top-notch IT solutions and services since 1981, including Ricoh copiers, printers, and mailing solutions. They even handle wide-format printers and electronic document storage, which is important since my boss still hasn't forgiven me for the birthday cake incident. Best of all, Sassine's Office Systems has flexible support programs, certified field techs, and fast, friendly service for one flat monthly fee. And saving money is always a good thing, especially since my boss still hasn't forgiven me for my parachute pants presentation. I was actually wearing parachute pants.
Trust Sassine's Office Systems to handle your IT equipment and office systems, including Ricoh-connected copiers and printers. Learn more at Sassines.com. That's SISSINES.com.
From TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville, this is the Publix Tailgate Show. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. It's Week 1, and today the Jaguars visit the Houston Texans. Kickoff time at 1 o'clock. But here in Jacksonville, the Saints and the Packers are playing at 4:25 today. It's a Saints home game, and you can show your support for the Gulf Coast and those impacted by Hurricane Ida when you buy a ticket to the Jaguars 50-50 raffle. But even with the new teams here at the bank today, you can buy your raffle ticket at Jaguars5050.com. That's the numbers 5050 in that website from anywhere in the state of Florida. The winner takes half of the jackpot, and a portion of the proceeds benefit the Gulf Coast Renewal Fund. Time now for First Rounds on Us.
New York Jets, first-round choice, Jeff Lageman.
Jacksonville Jaguars have selected tackle Southern California, Tony Baselli.
The
Let's head to NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas for the first time today and welcome in our resident first-round picks, Jeff Lageman, 1989 to the New York Jets, Tony Baselli, 1995 to the Jaguars. Good morning. It's week one kickoff weekend, guys. How you doing?
Yeah. It's a little excitement going on here. And JP, the cool thing is me and Tony and Frank and Rick, we're all pulling in, and Johnny. And, Jaguar fans are here. I mean, they're representing here early here in Houston now.
I like that.
Yeah, it's good. Good to see.
Fans are back.
I think everyone's excited.
Football's back.
It's been, as every year, maybe more this year than years past, just because of what we went through last year with the fans not being around. But we've been building to this moment, and especially here in Jacksonville with, Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence and all the excitement. You go through, the draft and OTAs and camp and preseason, and now it's finally for real. And we're going to find out what this team's all about.
Yeah, JP, I this week I was kind of, I don't want to say reminiscing, but going back into my memory bank. And there is, I love the NFL film stuff. So, the old school stuff, the stuff that they did for years.
The autumn wind is a Raider.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's good stuff. And I'm sure you guys remember the clip where Bill Parcells is with the Giants, and he's talking to the guys on the bench, and he's got basically a lot of the Giants' offensive linemen, and he's saying, hey, man, this is for real. This is why you do lift all them weights. This is why you do all that blank. He does say a bad word there. But, it is. It's cool. That's why the players, the coaches, they put in so much work. And this is what it's about. This is the test. This is where you start getting a grade. Like Urban Meyer talks about in training camp practices, there's winners and losers. Well, this is winners and losers day. And excited to get it started.
Guys, there's Urban Meyer takes a lot of criticism, a lot of heat from outside the building, outside the organization, and that he did a lot of that in college too. Let's be frank. How big is this game for Urban today to set the tone, not just for the organization but for him personally?
Well, I think it's more about the organization than him personally. His legacy has been settled, as far as what he's done in college football. But I do think as an organization, as a team, as a culture that he's trying to establish, you have to confirm your beliefs with victories. And when you win, it's a confirmation of the process that you've gone through. And I'm not saying, it's all about just this game because it's a long season, but this is the first step. And especially I think it's even bigger today for this organization, for Urban Meyer, for Trevor Lawrence, for the football team, because they're playing a team that has probably been the biggest dumpster fire in the entire offseason this year. All kinds of changes, Deshaun Watson, change of coaches, a lot of internal strife, so on and so forth.
Yeah, you don't want to lose to them.
That everybody around the whole NFL back in Jacksonville saying, oh, this is a game the Jags should win. They're favored. Well, if all of a sudden you come out and you don't get a win today against the Texans, I'm not saying you start seeing cracks, but all of a sudden, all that work, all that excitement, the helium is released from the balloon, and now it's like, okay, here we are. So I think it's really important.
From a confidence standpoint, 100%. It is, just because you don't want to lose to the dumpster fire.
And to confirm what you believe. If you're Urban Meyer, you've been preaching. This is how you do it. This is the process. This is what we do. This is the Jaguar way. This is my way. This has worked in college. And if you come out and lose today, it doesn't mean it invalidates all that, but it does maybe get a couple whispers, some questions.
Here's the thing, and I'm not going to be frank about it, okay, because Frank is already part of the broadcast. We don't need to be frank,
okay?
Right? Okay, so next time, if you want to be Frank Frangie, go ahead,
no,
be frank.
I'll be Jeff.
Okay. So, when we're talking about winning the first week, if you look at what has historically happened in the National Football League, the chances of teams of getting to the playoffs, the ones that win in week one, it actually is a dramatically impressive number. Now, the Jaguars won week one last year, and obviously it didn't change their fortunes last year. But it also relates to how you view the season and where you go after week one. Because you know what, the Jaguars last year, even though they won week one and then continued to lose week after week, it gave them a lot of confidence in the ensuing weeks after that week one victory. And I think with a young team, with a new organization and so much newness, it is the positive reaffirmation the affirmation that you're doing things the right way. And so I think it would help the organization in a big way to win today, and would certainly keep you from losing confidence to lose to the quote, and we're using this term, dumpster fire.
All right, guys, good morning, first of all. We're all excited to see the debut of Trevor Lawrence, right? I think we all have a degree of confidence in his talent level. Tell me something, Tony and Jeff, that you're also confident in other than Trevor Lawrence. Like, what's one aspect on the field that you think the Jags are going to be pretty good at this year?
Well, I think if you're saying, okay, what are they going to be good at besides quarterback? And, I mean, I think quarterback is still a question mark. But, I mean, the expectation – isn't that why you brought back all 5 offensive linemen was that they were going to be good. I mean, and so in my opinion, do I think they're going to be good? I don't know. I mean, because I haven't seen enough evidence yet. But when you bring all 5 back, the expectation is that they need to be better. They need to be good. They need to be a solid part of your organization. But I still have questions about that, Mike, and I think that's going to be certainly something that we're going to be looking at here today. Now, look, the Texans don't have J.J. Watt, but Tony and I talked about this earlier in the week. They got Merciless Whitney, and they got Zach Cunningham, man. These guys are 2 high-end players for the Texans.
Or Whitney Merciless.
Whitney Merciless. I always get that backwards.
Either one. But, yeah, they have him.
Block that guy.
Yeah, block that guy. He wears number 59. I'll just call him 59 from now on.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Mike, I think I have probably the most confidence in the new defensive line. I think Malcolm Brown, Devon Hamilton, Roy Robertson Harris. I think those are 3 professional football players. I think they're going to be really good against the run. I don't have confidence in them getting to the quarterback, but I think that's going to be a stout group and is going to give them a chance to get in some favorable down and distances. Now the question is, can they find anyone who can win one-on-one to get to the quarterback? I haven't seen it yet, so I think you're going to see a lot of blitz to kind of cover that up. But I do have confidence in those 3 guys. I think they're all 3 good football players, and Devon Hamilton might be one of the best players on that whole defense.
Well, you said you have concerns about them getting the quarterback. Okay, if you combine Malcolm Brown, Devon Hamilton, and Roy Robertson Harris career sacks, you know how many he got?
About 7.
10. Okay, yeah. That's not a lot. I mean, so there is a big question.
But I would say,
them getting the quarterback.
But running the ball, stopping the run, I have confidence in those 3 guys.
Well, I mean, they were great in the preseason, and we expect them to be that because they are really good. But Tony, I think today we're going to see a much higher level test than what we saw in the preseason.
Oh gosh, yes.
You know, because look, the Texans have 5 running backs on the roster. Anytime somebody has 5 running backs on the roster, they make no mistake about it. You know what they're going to do. I mean, they're going to come out. They try to establish the run and then play action and get Tyrod Taylor out of the pocket and let him kind of do the Tyrod type of things. But you better stop the run first, and if you don't, you're in for a long day.
Time now for the UF Health Finding Solutions. Visit ufhealthjacks.org, and it's to that end about containing Tyrod Taylor. They might try some of that bootleg stuff. As a defense, how do you keep him, for the most part, contained in that pocket?
Well, that's interesting. You got to try to be have what we call rush lane awareness. And so as you rush the passer, you kind of take guys down the middle. So if I'm a defensive lineman, I'm going to take the guy that I'm rushing over, I'm going to take him down the middle so I can come off to the left side or I can come off to the right side so I don't allow a rushing lane for him to just cut up through, and then all of a sudden he's broken containment, and then we have scramble rules, and our defensive backs are having to cover a lot longer than they want to. That's easier said than done, and a lot of times now. But the one good thing is that Tyrod Taylor is not 25 years old anymore, but the reality is he's in his 30s now, but he's still got some ability, and I think it's going to be curious to watch. The one thing, though, I will say, and look, the Texans had, we say, a dumpster fire in the offseason and all the issues with Deshaun Watson. I don't know if they could have gotten a better quarterback to come in and handle this situation than Tyrod Taylor, because I have a lot of respect for him. I think he is one of the best pros in the National Football League.
Well, Jeff, I think most people in Houston would agree with you. You talk to the organization, and I was having a conversation on the press box, and they could not speak more highly of Tyrod Taylor. And for all those reasons, because he just handles himself. He's a leader. He's a professional. Listen, we all know that there's a limitation of what he does when he operates from the pocket. That's not his strength. But he's a quarterback who's won a lot of games in this league. He's competitive. He's a leader. He is athletic. And it's no easy day at the beach because if he starts breaking contain, he starts getting outside and putting pressure on your secondary, Jeff, all the things you said come into play. Big plays, him getting first downs with his legs, extending drives, and it can put you on your heels a little bit. So I think it's a good test for this defense today.
Yeah, there was a play that was in the Texans' last preseason game, and it was against the Buccaneers. And his right tackle gets bull rushed back into his lap, and so when he gets bull rushed back, he kind of bumps into Tyrod. Tyrod kind of hops, and I brought this play up to Urban Meyer this week, and he remembered it distinctly because it was such a freaky athletic play. Tyrod Taylor gets knocked back, jumps up in the air, lands on his right foot with his right leg bent at about 90 degrees, and all the weight of his body lands on that one leg. Well, here comes the defender from the front side. He literally lands on that leg and then pushes off and away and turns and runs the other way. I mean, how many people can do that athletically? Well, not many in the National Football League, and certainly not many quarterbacks.
I can't. I know that.
No, you can't. I can't either.
Let me just put my list of
Joe Fortunato might be able to do it, though.
Yeah,
he's still pretty wiry.
Joe's a great athlete.
At his age.
He is spry, that's for sure. That is the UF Health Finding Solutions. Visit ufhealthjacks.org. Back with more in a moment. We'll get our fantasy picks a little later at 11:50 today. We'll hear from senior writer John Oehser with his game preview. The Jags and the Texans at 1 o'clock. And this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
Hi, I'm Urban Meyer, head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When I'm looking for a company to provide comfort to my home and family, I look for the same qualities I expect from my football team. High standards, superior knowledge, trust, and reliability. I've found that with Florida Home Air Conditioning, guaranteed exceptional service, and more than 20 years experience serving Jacksonville and the surrounding communities make their company my choice for heating and cooling. Call Florida Home AC today, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Move day is on the 20, the 10. Yes, another successful move to a new home. I tell you, folks, I've never seen a team more prepared than the Move Day crew. With a dominating lead in training, trust, and moving efficiency, it's no wonder why Move Day is the official moving company of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Track your goods online and get updated play-by-plays throughout your move process. While the Jags are moving the chains on game day, they're here to help you on moving day. Call 844-MY-MOVE-DAY or visit MoveDayMovers.com.
At ViStar, we believe in better, especially in helping build a better financial future for our members. So we've reviewed our offerings from the ground up. We've lowered or eliminated over half our fees and enhanced our already competitive rates, saving members more than $1 million this year, in addition to the millions we save them every year. If you believe that saving money is better, join ViStar. Visit ViStarCU.org. All loans subject to approval, insured by NCUA.
Hey Jaguars fans, are you ready to talk some trash? Well, nobody talks trash quite like Waste Pro, the official waste service and recycling partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Specializing in residential and commercial solid waste and recycling collection, processing, and disposal, Waste Pro is equipped to handle all your recycling and garbage removal needs. For service, call 904-731-7288. Waste Pro, caring for communities and caring for Jacksonville.
Are you tired of not seeing clearly? As the official eye care provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Florida Eye Specialists offers the safest, most effective technology to regain control of your sight. With 9 locations across Northeast Florida, our dedicated doctors have provided premier eye care to the community for more than 20 years. Call 904-564-2020 or visit FloridaEyeSpecialists.com to book an appointment with Jacksonville's most trusted eye care providers today.
The original Pizza Logs are a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars and available at the stadium on game day. You'll find those delicious gourmet pizza egg rolls at concession stands, clubs, and suites. For all their products, be sure to check out pizzalogs.com and have them delivered right to your home. That's pizzalogs.com.
Put down the burger, put down the dog. Pick up the original Pizza Log. There's only one. The original Pizza Log. Yeah.
Welcome back. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey from TIAA Bankfield in Jacksonville. The Publix Tailgate show continues. The Jaguars and the Texans in Week 1 on kickoff weekend, kickoff time at 1 o'clock today. The Jaguars have announced the inactives for today's game. There are 7 players sitting this one out today. Daniel Thomas, safety, will not play. Trey Herndon, cornerback, has been on the injury list all week. He is out today. Walker Little, rookie tackle, inactive for this game. Jacob Hollister, brought in late as a tight end, inactive. Defensive end and outside linebacker Jordan Smith, a draft pick this year from UAB. He is inactive. Adam Gotsis, defensive lineman, out. And rookie defensive lineman Jay Tufeli is also out. A few number changes for the Jaguars before this game. Malcolm Brown will wear number 90 now for the Jags. Jihad Ward, with the new rule this year, they can change jersey numbers. Well, he's going to wear number 6 on the defensive line. Taven Bryan now wearing number 93. Devin Smith and Brandon Rusnak, Smith a wide receiver, Rusnak a defensive back, are elevated to the active roster today from the practice squad, Mike.
For the Texans, JP, as expected, Deshaun Watson inactive, non-injury reasons, personal matter is how it's officially listed there. Among the others, Lonnie Johnson, a defensive back, will not be suiting up. Anthony Miller, the recently acquired wide receiver, is not playing today. Rookie tight end Brevin Jordan is inactive. Running back Scotty Phillips, a defensive lineman Jonathan Greenard, and starting strong side linebacker Kevin Pierre-Louis not active for the game today as well, dealing with a thigh injury. Jimmy Moreland, who's not even on the official Texans depth chart, listed as an inactive as well.
There you have it, the inactives for today's game. Let's go back to Houston now. Tony Baselli, Jeff Lageman back with us. Frank Frangie joins in. Good morning, Frank.
And good morning. How's everybody today?
Doing well. We are ready now for fantasy picks. This is for real. Mike Dempsey, tell us the rules.
All right, well, the rules are pretty simple. We all draft 3 players each week. We get a quarterback, a running back, and either a wide receiver or a tight end, so a pass catcher there. We typically do it each week in the reverse order of last week's scores, but since we didn't have a last week, we'll do it in the reverse order of last season's standings. And I equal Jeff Lageman's impressive 2-championship total with my second win in 6 seasons last year. So I'll have the last pick. Jeff will pick right before me. JP Shadrick will have the 3rd selection, going backwards here. Tony Baselli in the 2-hole, and Frank Frangie gets to lead things off for 2021. Frank, how do you feel about that?
I love it. It's a customary position for me, Mike, as you might know. so I've gotten kind of used to it. I think I've had one championship.
You have?
We've all
Tony's
won one.
Well, most of us
Haven't we
have.
all won it, Mike? We've all won one, right?
Tony's won one, I remember very distinctly.
Yeah. Move along. Okay?
JP was in position last year, and he faded badly, Frank. So
that's what I heard.
You're on the clock, Frank. Any player you like in the National Football League other than a Buccaneer or Cowboy?
I would like Derrick Henry to kick this thing off, Mike. Right out of the gate, I'll take Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry versus Arizona. Tony Baselli on the clock.
Hold on, I'm losing my list here.
It's week 1. Everybody's available.
Oh, okay.
Take your pick, dude.
Let's go with I had a good one. I forgot.
Tony wants Tom Brady, Mike. You put him down, too.
I do, too, actually.
I'm going to go Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs. All right, it is. There's first wide receiver off the board. JP Shadrick.
Christian McCaffrey.
He's going big early, ladies and gentlemen, with CMC. Jeff Lageman, you're up, sir.
I will take Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook. All right, the running backs, the big ones coming off the board here. I am going to go with Kyler Murray at quarterback, and I'm going to go with Alvin Kamara to keep that trend going at running back. Back to you, Jeff.
I will take Lamar Jackson.
All right, Jackson it is. JP?
I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes. He's pretty good. I've heard of him.
Yes, he is. Mahomes as his quarterback. Tony, need a quarterback or a running back here?
I'm going Mostert.
Mostert. That's a nice play this week against Detroit. So we'll see how that works out for you. Frank, need your quarterback and your pass catcher.
Did someone say Lamar Jackson or no?
Yes, they did. Jeff Scott.
I don't like that you said Lamar Jackson. So I will go. Let me have Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
And what I need a receiver. Who is Aaron Rodgers? Thank you very much. I will go. Hang on.
Today, Frank. Today.
Today's when you want
Kick off at 1 o'clock.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
105.
I'll take Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill it is. All right, Tony, need your quarterback here.
Kirk Cousins.
Wow. Tony's saving some big guns. We'll see if it works out for him. JP, pass catcher.
DeAndre Hopkins.
You son of a gun. Jeff, pass catcher as well.
I'm going big guns all the way around. I'm taking Devontae Adams.
Surprised Frank didn't pair him up with Rodgers there. And I will go with Calvin Ridley as my wide receiver. So here's what we've got. All the big guns coming out in week 1, but Tony keeping his powder dry a little bit. Frank's got Aaron Rodgers, Derrick Henry, and Tyreek Hill. Tony goes with Kirk Cousins, Raheem Mostert, and Stephon Diggs. JP has Patrick Mahomes, Christian McCaffrey, and DeAndre Hopkins. Jeff goes with Lamar Jackson, Dalvin Cook, Devontae Adams, and I will start my title defense with Kyler Murray, Alvin Kamara, and Calvin Ridley.
And it's cumulative points all year.
For the whole season, right. It's nice to win the week, but it's through week 17 this year.
You guys are going to burn all your good players. I'm saving them for later.
Yep. Only need 17 or 18 of them, Tony, so I think we'll be okay. But
they'll get hurt by the time you want to pick them.
I don't know. I'm worried about you guys. Bad strategy.
Wow.
I do like the Mostert pick, though.
Yeah, Mostert. Detroit's terrible.
Great matchup. Going to run the ball a bunch. Tony may have done some research heading into
Thank
this.
you. You know what's crazy? That there was not a Jaguar or a Texan taken in our fantasy draft.
I almost took James Robinson because
I'm pretty confident we're not going to take a whole lot of Texans this year.
Certainly
point.
today.
That's my guess.
Excellent point. All right, guys, we'll talk to you in just a little bit. PRI Productions, the Southeast full-service event company, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com and learn more. We visit a little longer with Frank Frangie, Jaguars play-by-play announcer at NRG Stadium in Houston, and we've touched on it most of the morning, Frank. It is a new era of Jaguars football, and we're a little over an hour away from one of the biggest kickoff weekend games. They're all big, but this one feels different for the Jaguars.
And not only that, JP, I've been here. I got here early yesterday. Jaguar fans are everywhere. This is my 8th year doing this. Of the years I've done this, I've never seen this many Jaguars out and about, and I think that's going to show up in the stadium, obviously. So, yeah, I think everybody's into it, JP. Just what you said, how big this weekend is, how exciting. We waited a long time for this, man. And finally it counts, and Trevor Lawrence is here, and Urban Meyer's here. And I'm telling you, brother, Jaguar fan is here. Everywhere I went yesterday and even this morning, we get here early, obviously, for the broadcast. I didn't see a lot of Texans fans milling in the parking lot, but I saw a lot of Jaguar fans with those jerseys on. So I can't wait to see how that shows up in the stadium.
Frank, you only get 17 of them now, so they're all important. But Tony and Jeff really went on extensively about, all the excitement that's built to this game. Urban Meyer trying to build things his way. You've got Trevor Lawrence making his debut, and the Jags are a favorite against a team that many consider to be in the worst shape of any in the National Football League. How important is it to capitalize on this positivity and get this win? As they talked about, there's a lot of deflation that could come with an opening day loss this year.
Mike, it's a great point, and I heard you guys talking about it. I think what's significant is to manage the moment after, no matter what happens here. If you lose, you got to stay away from that deflation. There's 16 more games. If you win, you can't feel like you're headed to the playoffs yet. So I think there's always that. But yeah, let's not miss the obvious here. This is a really big game because they're not going to be. If you lose today, you're not going to be favored very often as the season goes along. All the expectations. We've waited. I mean, since Frank Gore made the first down, man, we've been waiting for this thing. That's how long Jag fan has been waiting for this. The world doesn't end if you don't win today, but certainly it will be deflating. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Frank Frangie with us in Houston. You referenced it. Frank Gore getting the first down solidified the Jaguars getting the number one overall pick in this year's draft, and with that, Trevor Lawrence. It's the debut for what many people have said is the greatest quarterback since Andrew Luck to come out of the draft. It's a big burden to handle. How do they manage those expectations for Trevor Lawrence, or do you? I mean, do you just kind of roll with it? He is the face of the organization now.
You know what, JP, and I don't know him well with protocols and all. We don't get to know the players like we probably once did. But, gosh, I like him more now than I did before he got here. I think he's a truly humble guy. I think he gets all this. Look, he's been the megastar since before he got to Cartersville High School. They knew he was coming. Since before he got to Clemson, and obviously before he was this generational pick, as they say. I think he's okay with those expectations. One of the things you have to worry about with those expectations, JP, because the question's a very good one, is if a guy doesn't play as well as he's supposed to and negative vibes or negative things are said, how does it hurt him? How does it affect him? How does it affect his confidence? Man, with this guy, I don't think that's in play. I think he's a confident guy. I think he's a matter-of-fact guy. I think he gets this. So I'm not worried about that. I think the expectations are high. I think he knows that. I think you know that. I think I know that. And if he doesn't play as well this week, I think he'll shake it off and play better next week. So I'm not worried about the moment being too big for Trevor Lawrence. I'm really not.
I agree with you, Frank. And you know, I'll ask you what I asked Tony and Jeff earlier. We're confident to whatever degree we are in Trevor Lawrence. What's another aspect of this team that you're confident is going to come through with good play this season?
I think they have built they've added some speed to the defense. We all worry a little bit about the pass rush because we didn't see much of it, Mike, in the preseason. But you have to be faster. I think, look, Tyson Campbell's a young player. He's going to make some mistakes. C.J. Henderson's really a young player who missed part of his rookie year. But Shaquille Griffin, C.J. Henderson, Tyson Campbell can run. Caleb Chason, despite I thought he was miscast a little bit as an end last year, but can run. Josh Allen can run. Miles Jack is one of the faster inside linebackers in the league. I think we'll see a defense that runs to the ball maybe more than we have in a long time. Now, that 17 defense did everything well. I know that. But I think it's a defense, to your question, Mike, that can run. People haven't talked a lot about that. But I think they've increased the defensive team speed significantly here, and I'm looking forward to watching that today.
Frank, have a great call. We'll talk to you down the line.
Okay, fellas. Thank you.
Frank Frangie joining us from NRG Stadium in Houston. Up next on the Publix Tailgate Show, a visit with the Ozone. It's Jaguars.com senior writer John Oehser joining us from Houston with his final thoughts ahead of today's kickoff weekend matchup. The Jaguars radio network coverage begins at noon with countdown to kickoff, and we're a little over an hour away from week one. The Jags and the Texans coming up, and this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
Why live with foot or ankle pain? If you have persistent pain, numbness, tingling, burning pain on the bottom of your foot, or swelling that doesn't improve with home treatment, it may be time to see Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our foot and ankle specialists have innovative new options to help you get back in the swing of things without persistent pain that slows you down. Call JOI 2000 or go to joionline.net for an appointment.
Hi, folks. Frank Frangie here to tell you where to find the most authentic Southern Pit barbecue in all of Jacksonville. That's right, Bono's. For 72 years, Bono's has been smoking real pit barbecue right here on the First Coast. Smoked for hours, served in minutes, and always cut to order. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at TIAA Bank Field. Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you want great barbecue, head to Bono's today. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
You say there's nothing quite like the feel of the open road when you ride a motorcycle. You know it takes concentration, knowledge, and skills beyond those required to drive a car. Ride Smart Florida would like to take this opportunity to remind you to enjoy the road, but to always ride smart. S-M-A-R-T. Say no to drinking and riding. Make yourself more visible to motorists. Always wear your helmet. Ride in control. Train regularly and get endorsed. Visit RideSmartFlorida.com for more details. Do you ride smart? This message is provided by the Florida Department of Transportation.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now, bucket dunking now, namasteing now, popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 44 years straight. Built for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't built for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
When it comes to water, choose our team, the winning team. Choose CGC Water Treatment. CGC Water Treatment works, and it works for DG too, former Jags QB, David Garrard.
If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Discover the Kinetico difference.
Call CGC Water Treatment at 844-CGC-JAGS or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Kinetico dealers.
Final moments of the Publix Tailgate Show. The Jags and the Texans coming up at 1 o'clock in Week 1. Season tickets, single game tickets, and group tickets. Be a part of the new era of Jaguars football and own it. Visit jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. He owns it. He's the Ozone.
This broadcast is Ozone friendly.
The Ozone. It's Jaguars.com senior writer John Oehser joining us from the broadcast booth in Houston, Texas at NRG Stadium, and it's finally here, John, after all of this hoopla and build-up and anticipation. Toe hits leather at 105 today.
Yeah, and I just watched Trevor Lawrence throw some passes in warm-up. Unfortunately, he's leaving the field. Otherwise, I was just going to narrate that for you guys the whole time. This 6 or 7 minutes of where he was throwing the ball, because that's all anybody cares about, right? That's what matters.
I don't know if that's all that matters, but I definitely think it's the number one item on everyone's agenda, John, and with good reason.
If I had done it, you would have listened.
So how did it look? How did it look? Spirals at least?
Spirals. He finished it with a beautiful post pattern. Couldn't quite tell who it was to because they were just wearing warm-ups. But I noticed him because of the beautiful flowing hair, guys. I knew it was him.
Kind of stands out, I would say. John, we've talked a little bit this morning about the importance of this game, yes, and wins and losses. You want to win more than you lose, and you certainly want to get it going. But to just, set the foundation for everything that has been preached in this offseason around the organization, right? I mean, you have to pay it off at some point with winning football.
Yeah, you know me, JP, I believe so much of being a head coach are the players buying in. And there's no question in my mind that they are buying into what Urban Meyer is saying. They believe it. They believe in the direction. And the reality is you have to back that up with results. And today's the first result. So it certainly matters. All the culture he has talked about, I don't think you lose it with one game. I mean, I'm not saying that. But, boy, if you win and you look good and all of a sudden you're flying back in the team playing, hey, we did this. See, I told you this was going to work. Yeah, and you're high-fiving, that's a lot better than high fives are better than not high fives, JP, today. Put it that way.
John, a lot has been made about keeping Tyrod Taylor in the pocket, have that contained pass rush. But in general this year, between the scheme and the players that they have, how confident are you that the Jags can generate a better pass rush than we've seen in the last few years?
Well, I think so much of it depends on if the run defense is indeed improved, which – all signs in the preseason pointed to it being improved. I'm just a big believer that if you're not stopping the run, it doesn't matter how good you are at rushing the passer. If you're 3rd and 8, you're going to get to the quarterback a lot more than if it's 3rd and 2. I believe they will be better. I believe Josh Allen will have a big year because of the presence of Malcolm Brown and Devon Hamilton. But beyond that, there is a legitimate question. Beyond Josh Allen, who's the guy? Can it be Smoot? I think they're going to depend a lot on Smoot. I think Smoot will be more in the pass rush mode in nickel situations than Kayvon Chason. I think Smoot and Allen are the big guys with Jihad Ward. Can those other guys opposite Allen do it? Can Allen do it without Calais and those guys from 19? Big questions. I don't know the answer. I feel like they're going to be better, though.
John Oehser with us from NRG Stadium in Houston. The back end of this defense is almost all new, John. C.J. Henderson is back from last year. Most of the day you could see 4 other new faces in the secondary for this Jags team. That's a lot of change in 1 year. Where do you stand with the secondary so far? I guess we'll start finding out here in about an hour.
I think Mike and I talked about it on the show this week. You have to like what Henderson did in the preseason. And I said from day one, I thought he and Josh Allen were the huge storylines on this defense. I've kind of changed that a little bit to include Devon Hamilton. But C.J. Henderson looking like a top 10 corner, which I would say he did that more in preseason than he didn't, is a really good sign because I think Shaq Griffin, if he's playing the 2 corner, I have no doubt that he's going to be an impact guy at that spot. And then, what happens at safety? Rashawn Jenkins, I think he's going to be solid. My big question is how long until Cisco is the guy over there. I think it'll be a few weeks. I think he'll play a lot today. I like it, but it's like so many things we've talked about all week, JP. So many unknowns for this team. Everything about this team going into the season is a projection, speculation. Let's hope it goes like they plan. If their secondary is as good as they signed and they looked at times, then they're good. But we've just got to see it to find out.
Well, let's project and speculate a little bit more about special teams, John. Urban Meyer very much emphasizes the importance of that unit, and we talked earlier with the guys about Josh Lambo. You can weigh in on that, but I'm curious what kind of impact you think Jamal Agnew is going to have for this team in the return game this year.
Well, I think it should be big. I mean, keeping so many special teams guys is something to watch this year because the kickoffs aren't as important as they used to be. So emphasis on special teams is a big thing for them that if it doesn't work, they will be criticized for because it's not as big a deal as it used to be in the league. At the same time, if you win a couple of games that way, then it's all worth it. And I think Jamal Agnew is the guy out of all the guys they signed. Rudy Ford, yes, because he's talked about him a lot. Urban Meyer has. Jamal Agnew is a guy who the speed stood out during training camp practices. You guys were out there. When he touched the ball, it looked different. We haven't really seen it in preseason because they shut him down after week 1, basically, with that. They believe he's going to be a huge factor. And if he is, then all of a sudden all this offseason stuff about special teams starts paying off.
John, have a good one today. Enjoy it. We'll look forward to your writing after the game today on Jaguars.com.
As I always tell you, JP, I'm glad somebody does.
Well, count me as one.
All right.
John Oehser.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Joining us from NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas. It is a new era of Jaguars football, and all this talk and preseason speculation and conversation and things. All this anticipation it's about over. 1 hour away.
Just an hour away, man. I am ready to go, though. I'm really excited about this, JP. I know Jaguar fans are feeling the electricity right now. And as Frank said, I heard him talk about it multiple times this morning here on the radio. Jag fans showed up big in Houston. They're anticipating something special as well.
That'll do it for the Publix Tailgate Show. We'll return with Jaguars Radio Network coverage, beginning with Countdown to Kickoff, featuring CBS Sports senior writer Pete Prisco, pride of the Jaguars running back Fred Taylor, and the final word before kickoff with head coach Urban Meyer. We're an hour away from kickoff weekend and week 1. The Jags and the Texans coming up, and this has been the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
You're beyond busy. Between work and the kids, the dogs and the cat, let us help. With Publix Delivery powered by Instacart, you'll get the items you need from the store you know. Just shop online, select the time you'd like your order delivered, and grocery shopping is done, giving you more time to take care of everything else. Publix Delivery, powered by Instacart.